Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm Gav Mack. That's Alex Osborn, and down there is George Watts.
What's happening? You all right?
We're all gooners. Who hasn't seen this show or anything beforehand will know that I'm an Arsenal fan. This is Two Up Top anyway. So without any further ado, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you wish. At Two Up Top Football on all social media: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch. And if you put Two Up Top into Google, our name comes up first. Did you know that? Well, now you do. So the situation is, me and Alex, we're part of the Two Up Top family. George is an Arsenal fan, and if people that don't know from Two Up Top, is the fact that myself and Alex are Arsenal fans. We have very contrasting views on Arsenal and how we perceive things to be. But George has one particular mentality and one particular mindset of it, and his rant, if you want to call it that, went viral the other day. I think it was just a general honest moan about Arsenal, and it's racked up well in excess of 1.5 million views in the last couple of days. George, Arteta in or out, pal?
He's got to go. I've really wanted him to do well. I'm not one of them people. I've always wanted him gone, wanted to see the best from him, but now he has to go. It's gone too far.
Alex, you're quite a Remainer when it comes to it. Not saying that's a Brexit chat, but you are quite a staunch Arteta Remain, and we've had plenty of arguments over on the podcast, via text, in person. Where are you?
He has to stay as manager for me.
Why?
There's a lot of reasons why. But the main thing is getting a new manager in is not going to improve things. Where depending on who you get, it might be to various levels, degrees, but it's not going to be. We're not going to see an instant fix like everyone's wanting. It's not going to happen, and it's just going to reset it's just going to reset the whole process again. And when the same thing happens again in a year's time, we'll be calling for another manager's head. This is not the time to be just chaotic. This is the time for needing stability, and you have to stay with Arteta.
Now, any Arsenal fans that are watching along with this, feel free to throw your £2 worth in, and even if you're not an Arsenal fan, feel free to throw your bit in as well, because there's something seriously going wrong at Arsenal at the moment, and I don't know how deep this goes, because for me, I think it's something that has been happening for about 10 years. It's been a steady decline for the last 10 years or so, and it's just coming to a head right now. I think that's where I'm at. Now, I didn't want Arteta in the first place, and I think it's well documented everywhere. I didn't want Emery either. There were so many opportunities that we could have gone out and got a Conte at the time, a Klopp at the time, Allegri. There's so many different top-end managers that Arsenal could have got that they haven't done. So, Alex, you're shaking your head at the moment. George, you're a bit, I'm sort of agreeing with Gav a little bit. I'm trying to be as neutral as possible in this. I don't want it to be like a ding dong as such, but I think it might turn into one. So yeah, George, you were sort of going along with me on that mindset. Where were you ever part of the Wenger out brigade?
There was a stage I was, and then towards, not just before, I'd say about a month before he come out and said he was leaving, I looked at the bigger picture and I thought, look how much this man has done for the club, and look where he's got us. Even though we're declining now, I was, in that sense, I was quite immature to the point to say Wenger out. And then I realised, and then he announced it, and I thought, do you know what, I've joined the bandwagon of getting him out in a way. I didn't stop it too early. So that's where I was at.
Alex?
Well, that Wenger leaving came about 6-7 years too late. And the whole reason Arsenal are in the position where they are is because of those 6-7 years that he was at the club for that length of time. And it's just coming home to roost now. All of the decisions they made by giving Ozil that contract, by signing Lacazette, by signing Aubameyang, by signing Luiz, by signing these players, Xhaka, Mustafi, all came in those 6-7 years, and they are the sole reasons, the main reasons why Arsenal are where they are now, because they're all in the latter stages of their career. They all don't care playing for Arsenal. They all are on a high wage, and they're all think that they're bigger than the club. And the sooner that all those players are going, and the majority will be leaving by the time in the summer, things will drastically improve at Arsenal. I 100% guarantee that. That's what I believe.
Can I just say something on that point, if that's all right?
Go ahead, mate.
Go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
So I believe myself, Wenger signings were I would say about 15% of them signings were Wenger's. I can say that right now. I will tell you that he wanted Xhaka. He wanted Xhaka because he turned down Kante for Xhaka, pay a bit more. That's a fact, and that is the worst decision that man ever made. But, however, Aubameyang, I believe he didn't have a say at that point. And he held, even though you're saying we declined, because of where he got us to a point where we started to decline. And the reason why we're declining is Stan Kroenke, right? That is the main point. And I guarantee you, your point
Coming up
in protecting Arteta is that Stan Kroenke is the main source of the problem, which was Wenger's problem. And he covered it up for too long.
Thing is, people are saying that Kroenke never got a chance to spend any money and all that sort of stuff. Like we haven't had the money, and it's all Kroenke's fault. We've actually spent quite a lot of money over the last few years. I don't think we spent it right.
The fact that Arsenal not having any money is a myth. We just dropped £45 million just like that on Thomas Partey. We spent 30 million on Gabriel as well. Now that's 75 million on two players in a COVID window. The fact that Arsenal not having any money is a myth. There's a myth. Whether we spend it on the right players is a different matter. But the fact is, Arsenal do have money to spend, and they have shown that they will spend it.
I'm never going to turn around and make out like I was all like, oh, you know, I'm going to miss Wenger. I don't miss Wenger at all. No. And if Wenger was to if they would turn around and say, oh, yeah, you can have Wenger until the end of the season, I wouldn't want that, because that's a backward move. Mm-hmm. I will still stand by the fact that the season 07-08, Arsenal should have won the league that year. They allowed themselves to fall apart. After that Birmingham game where we drew 2 apiece, drawing 5 and losing 1, and then leading 1-0 and losing 2-1 against both Chelsea and Man United at that time, to lose out the title by 4 points. From that moment, for me, I was always Wenger out at that point. And he kept on flirting with my mind, going, oh, you know, we're doing all right this time. You know, we've been top around Christmas, and like anywhere between November and February, we've flirted with top spot, and then fluffed the lines and come fourth. And we needed someone who had a little bit of grit and a little bit of, you know, heart and not be so stubborn, to then take us forwards to the next level. There was when we won the FA Cup the first time in the last sort of run. He should have just said at that point, do you know what? I've got you guys a trophy. I want to go sit upstairs and go get... You could get a rookie manager at that point. I honestly think at that point you could go get a rookie manager, someone like Arteta, to then come in and be like, right, okay, you've got the guidance from the man that's turned Arsenal around. That's what I think. But the club is in disarray at the moment. I'm so embarrassed to be an Arsenal fan at the moment. Alex, you're shaking your head.
We're not.
Are you agreeing with me or disagreeing with me?
We're not in disarray. You make it sound like Arsenal are completely... By plunging the club into more crisis, by getting rid of everybody, that's just going to further exasperate the problem.
So where are you then? Because at the moment, it's almost like we can't get any worse. We're Arsenal Football Club. Every top six club has been...
I take that. We've lost 4 home games in a row. We haven't won a Premier League game since Manchester United, since the game at Old Trafford. Granted, we are in horrible form. However, that shouldn't be the reason right now to go and sack everybody, because if you do, you have to get rid of Edu as well. Okay, so you've got to go, because then him and Arteta are tied together. Okay, so you have to get rid of him. So not only do you get rid of the manager, you then get rid of all the backroom staff as well, because they're going to go. So you've then got you've got the backroom staff void. You've got the managerial staff void. So you have to go and get a whole new coaching staff. Where'd you go from there? It's just going to take ages for that to bed in. And it's not going to, as I said, it's not going to be a quick fix. You could get in Pochettino, for example, who's a free agent. Don't get me wrong, Pochettino is a great manager and he could probably do really good for Arsenal. But the style of football that he plays, it doesn't suit the players that Arsenal currently got. Allegri, okay, I've heard him being mentioned. Yeah, again, he's got a coach with credentials. But if Arsenal fans are fed up of defensive football, why the hell is his name coming up? That's all he did for Juventus. That's exactly the same type of football we'd be getting now. So that's a stupid. I don't understand that link there. If we were to go for a new manager, my views would be looking at Southampton and see how much they're prepared to keep hold of Hasenhüttl. That's where I would be going for, because he would be someone who would demand commitment from the Arsenal players. But as we've seen, this group of Arsenal players, they can stay committed for a couple of months and then they just think, right, I've done my hard work now. So, yes, this David guy, exactly that. As soon as, I tell you now, Ozil is the biggest problem at Arsenal. And as soon as he's gone, things will improve 1,000%.
But then there's stories coming out that David Luiz and Arteta have had a bust up and they're not talking. And with the Pepe situation, or Pepe getting sent off, what was his word? I can't remember his exact words, but it was along the lines of, it's a disgrace of what he's done. But as soon as Xhaka does it, oh, that's all right. It's baby Xhaka. I love him. He's a good man to me. It's a mistake. He said it's a mistake from Xhaka. It's not. Arteta, he has got to go. The job was bigger than him. Unfortunately, I wanted him to do well. I really did. But he has to go now. Arsenal Football Club, I can't be hearing my fans, my supporters, my club saying, we do well if we get 10th. That is not good enough. We are currently 15th in the league, 5 points off of the relegation zone in December. It's not the start of the season. December. It's not happening. I'm sick of it. He's got to go get experience in.
I think the only time Arsenal can accept being 15th in the league is if they fail to win on the opening day of a season.
That's right.
That's the only acceptable time that Arsenal should be there. The worst I've ever seen Arsenal perform in the league was the first time was the last time that Spurs came ahead of us in the league for 22 years. That was season 94-95. I think we came 12th or 13th, and that was bad enough.
We came 12th that year.
Yeah. It came 12th. Spurs came 11th.
That was the year when George Graham got sacked because of the bung, and then was it Stuart Houston to caretaker manager to the end of the season?
Bruce Rioch and all that sort of stuff.
Bruce Rioch finished 5th, didn't he, in his season when he came and when he took over, didn't he? So,
but I'm embarrassed being an Arsenal fan at the moment. I really am, and like every club that is regarded as a top 6 club, they have been in a similar position to us at points during the season, and they've done something about it and they've acted upon it. So, for instance, when Spurs were knocking around in the relegation zone, if you remember that, I think it was the 08-09 or the 07-08 season, when they had Juande Ramos. They had 2 points after like 8 games, and they sacked him off. See you later. They made a change. Bought it. It was the 07-08 season, so they bought in Harry Redknapp, and then things changed. Bosh. Right, and then Liverpool. Look at them at the turn of the decade. They had Roy Hodgson in charge. They were knocking around 14th, 15th, and they came 10th that year. You know what a shambles Liverpool were. I know it's a long process, and they've won the title in the last 10 years. Man United, they've been knocking around in these silly positions before. You know, there's who else? City had a great start. Chelsea, their last season under Mourinho.
And can I tell you why Arsenal are not like these clubs? We are not like these clubs because we know getting a manager in like Arteta, he's got no background where he can say, I want 300 million. Now, I know we've spent money, and that Gabriel deal and the Pepe deal we're still paying for, can I just say? That wasn't straight up money. So we know, Kroenke knows for a fact, if I get to, just say when Mourinho was knocking about, and I know Arsenal fans want him because the way it was with Wenger and his style of football, but just say, when he was about, we would have never looked at him because he would have said, I need 450 million to sort his team out. And they don't want a manager that's going to demand what he
Yeah,
needs.
but he's not doing that. He's not doing that at Spurs at the moment, and he is the absolute perfect example of a manager that we needed at that time to come in and steady the ship, tighten up things, what's going on at the back. And I've always been a fan of Mourinho. Look at Alex not happy about it. I've always been a fan of Mourinho, and everyone says, "Oh, he's a defensive manager." No, he plays to win.
But he wins you league titles.
It will be defensive when he needs to be defensive, and it'll be expansive when he will need to be expansive. And David just said that that Mourinho won him, but he'll fall out with the players. Well, I think he'll fall out with the players that, in other words, don't really give a shit, and he'll go in there and weed it out. Now, if Arteta doesn't give a shit about someone, the players don't really respect him. They do not respect him. I don't think they care a word for what he says. The only players that care about him are the fringe players and the kids. Because Arsenal go out in the Europa League. Yes, Dundalk, Rapid Vienna, Molde. They're not great. They're not great talent. We're all aware of this. But when Arsenal are in possession in those games, they look so much more free. They're so much more relaxed. They look happy to be there. As soon as it gets to a Sunday, we end. So. That's the senior players that don't care. They don't want to listen to someone like Arteta. They don't. It's like Arteta's like, oh yeah, I was the number 2 under Pep Guardiola. That's great. What credentials have you got? Most of the players that are at Arsenal now weren't there at the same time when Arteta was there as a player, so they couldn't really give a shit about him on that front either. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's shambolic. Here we go. Xhaka is woeful, terrible player. I'm embarrassed at the moment. Something needs to be done. Oh well, Xhaka is not doing well at the moment, but I do defend him because of how much I used to see him when he was at Mönchengladbach. Really good, astute, decent midfielder who can ping passes and do stuff. He's not doing that at Arsenal. I could think of 4 games that he's played well at Arsenal. But why is it decent players come to Arsenal and fluff their lines?
Do you know what? Going on that point, it is literally like if you join Arsenal, I'll give you an example. Alexis Sanchez, yeah, when he first joined, he was picking up the ball and he was shooting 25 yards, 20 yards out. Yeah. Soon as he gets in the Arsenal mentality, sorry, mate, you've got to go a little bit closer to the goal, have a few passes, and then shoot. That's what he's like.
I was saying about Rosicky as well. Rosicky was known for slapping goals in from 25, 30 yards. Even Xhaka was doing it. His first season, he scored 3 goals from outside the box, and now he's still not allowed to shoot. It's like we have to play the Arsenal way. Well, the Arsenal way is dead in the water. Everyone evolved. Every other club has evolved and changed personnel and moved forwards. And Arsenal have been like, well, this is the way that we play, and this is how we're going to do it. It doesn't matter who we're playing against. We have our set 11. Sometimes we play 3 at the back. Sometimes we play 4 at the back. We are playing these players, irrelevant of who we're playing against. Where's the tactical awareness in that? If you're playing against a fluid team, why are we not packing the midfield out?
Do you
see what I mean? That was just basic tactics.
The one time that got done, Man City away when we
Man City away.
Wenger changed his ways for once, and look what happens. We, as a club, we're in absolute shambles. We're if you put it like a box of cereal, we're expired. We're out of date, and we still think we're that great club we was. And unfortunately, we're not anymore. It's going to take some serious experienced managers or manager to come in and save this club. I think the job's bigger than Arteta. I'm sorry to say it.
Job's way bigger than Arteta.
Okay, well then let me throw the question back for you. If you think the club's in serious shambles and you don't trust the people that are running the club, why do you trust them to then get the right appointment to replace Arteta?
Listen, that is a very good question because I am a sole believer that Kroenke has got to go. Yeah, I'm a sole believer that he's got to go. So I'll be going back on my word if I say I trust them. I don't trust them. However, anyone that we could get in now, for example, Allegri, we get Allegri in, then do you know what I mean? He's been there, he's done it, he's got the t-shirt. So there is that element of cool. He's done it there, he can do it here, even if it's a risk with the board that they don't want to do it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm siding more with Alex though in terms of Hasenhüttl, because
I do think that's a great shot.
Hasenhüttl knows how to deal with things in this situation. you don't see anyone like Allegri and all the big name managers knocking around with clubs in the bottom half. I don't think they'll know what to do and how to change that. I think we should be looking at someone like him.
The other thing that we've got to do as well, we've got to stop becoming a retirement home for ex-Chelsea players.
Oh, thank God!
For God's sake, can we stop signing ex-Chelsea rejects? Can we stop signing players over the age of 30 and giving them huge contracts? That is just, and that is one thing. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Arteta is entirely blameless. Okay, please don't say that he can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned. He's definitely done some things where I'm sure he will admit that I could have done better with that. But the main thing is these signings. Willian, horrible signing. I never wanted him to come to Arsenal.
Absolutely.
David Luiz, again, horrible signing. Never wanted him to come to Arsenal. The fact that apparently we had a bid for Lacazette in the summer and we turned it down is like, I can't believe that we did that. That would have been a godsend. The fact that we gave Aubameyang. Now, Gav will know. I mean, don't get me wrong. Aubameyang's done really good stuff for the club since he signed. He's scored a lot of goals. But Gav will know that I'm not as hot on him as other fans from previous discussions we've had. The fact that we gave him 250, nearly 300 grand a week at the age he is, and look what's happened since. That's turned out to be a huge mistake because we're now stuck with him for the next 3 years, and he's only going to get worse. He's not getting any better. He's only going to get worse from here, and he's then stopping players like Balogun, for example. When he's come on, I know, again, you say it's the Europa League, but what's he, 18? And he's looked bright. He's wanted to be there because he's fighting for – he's come through the Arsenal Youth Academy. He wants to play for Arsenal. The same with Martinelli. When Martinelli comes back from injury, I can't wait for him to come back. He's going to look at him when he played for us last year. He's full of hunger, full of desire. He wants to prove himself at this level.
He's the only player that really had energy because we all cussed out Emery. We all did, but I saw more pressing desire under Emery than I have done under.
This is the exact point where there's a loyalty to Arteta, where he's played for us. He's been our captain and that. If this was Emery was in a better position than Arteta is now.
We were eighth.
This is the point, though. But no Arsenal fan. I didn't see no Arsenal fan defending Emery. Do you get what I'm saying? Where he's played for us, Arteta, it's like, he's a young manager. He's been under Pep. He's got a bit about him. He won us an FA Cup. Okay, he won us an FA Cup. Congratulations. Wenger did that for how many years? And we all wanted him out then. Do you know what I mean? So it's ridiculous, the state that the club has got to.
Going back to the aging players, Leon's watching the show with us. Thanks for watching. I know he's a massive Arsenal fan, and we will get a chance to go down and stuff when all this COVID crap finishes. But yeah, what happened to Arsenal's 1 year extension for players over 30? The issue is nowadays clubs are too worried about losing their players on a free transfer, and players also, from a player's point of view, they want security as well. So I understand that they need the security. It's like, well, what if I don't get another club after I'm 30? What if I get an injury at the age of 32 and my career is done already? So
the players get what they can. I have no issue with the players getting their play. They can only sign what's put in front of them. Okay, so I have no issue with those players being offered the amounts that they are and them signing it. It's the clubs that need to be looking at themselves and thinking, why have we let ourselves being backed into this situation? Because that happened with Ozil. Remember when Ozil signed his contract? He was his contract, that initial one was ending at the end of that season, wasn't it? He was 6 months away.
It was going to expire,
and we panicked. We absolutely panicked and thinking we can't lose him on the free. So we gave him 350 grand, and then we lost our most influential player in Ramsey. I'm still not over that, by the way.
I'm not over that.
And it's not. Look.
I was happy chopping onions in that Brighton game, I tell you.
We were both pretty chopped up there.
I would say to Juventus, here's Ozil, give us back Ramsey. Thank you very much. Done deal.
Please. Can I just point out, did you guys see him dominate the midfield against Barcelona for Juventus the other week?
Yeah.
Again, Matt, I was told he was overrated and he wasn't nothing. But, man, he's one of the best midfielders in Europe. When he's fit, fully fit and firing. Aaron Ramsey is one of the best midfielders in Europe, bar none. So we haven't replaced him, and it's no coincidence that since he's left the club that we've gone downhill even more. But it's just decisions like that which has just allowed us to be in this position now. And again, I'm not saying Arteta's entirely blameless, but to blame everything on him, I'm just not. I don't think that's the case.
I feel like I have to blame everything on him because he's putting the team out and whatever. He's seeing something in training that we ain't, and the players do not want to play for him. They don't respect him. And if you don't respect, if in your day job, right? If you don't respect your gaffer, you don't really want to work for him, do you?
No.
And you go look for another job. It's human nature. If you don't like the gaffer, you want to move on.
I really agree with that. But the players who don't respect him, Ozil, Socrates, Luiz, Mustafi, we all tried to get rid of them in the summer.
Why should they respect? Why should they respect?
Why do they not accept to leave? If they didn't respect him, why aren't they leaving the club?
To continue on that, then they've given you a decent contract. You're getting paid decent whack, and your job is secure.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm going to hang
about. Fair enough, but then
because like Socrates,
don't come out on the media and social media and saying, "Oh, I want to stay at this club. I want to play in it." Everything. Yet when we don't want to play for us. Yeah, when we've made the club have made it clear to them they don't want them to be Arsenal players, and we'll happily move them on, and then they reject that. Don't come out and say in the media, "Oh, I want to play football," because you clearly don't want to play football if you're being offered a way out of the club.
Okay,
play for another team.
With a club like Arsenal, and we know we've got better in the last year and a half, with transfers. But the situation we're in, we're not scoring any goals. As much as I want Ozil out, you wouldn't think we would be using him right now if we registered for the Premier League. I think it was absolutely stupid to have a player on 350 grand a week. Maybe his attitude stinks behind closed doors, and maybe it don't. However, a player on 350 grand a week who can create what he can create on his day. Even if we use them against the small clubs, I say small clubs, was 15th in the league. This is exactly my point, what I'm getting to.
I'll ask this question. When was Ozil's day? When was his last day for us? When he was playing? He hasn't had a day for Arsenal for 3 years.
The last game that I can think, the last game that I can remember Ozil having an absolute worldie was against Leicester. And that was when
Danny Welbeck.
That was the beginning of Emery's reign, wasn't it? That 3-1.
That was that's the 3-1. Me and my brother went down, so it was October 18. That was the last time I looked at Ozil and was like, "You're world class, mate," because he can turn it on when he wants to. The issue is he doesn't work hard enough. But then, even in his last days under Emery, he was tracking back more than any other player. He was one of the highest tacklers at Arsenal, but I don't know what it is. He just doesn't. He doesn't seem to click. We always buy players that it's too late in their career, like Socrates, right? Socrates as a defender is one of the best. Was one of the best defenders, actual centre halves in the world. He was brilliant. Honestly, he never missed a tackle. He had an eye for a pass, and he was a calming voice at the back. We signed him 2 years too late. He's on his way down. He was on his way down. Then we signed him. And to be fair, he's had good games for Arsenal, but he's never really stood out. He's never stood out, and it's just the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bogle's having a dig now as well. Christ, Arteta or Solskjaer is a frigging United fan as well, infiltrating the feed. Arteta and Solskjaer responsible, or is it the state of the two clubs, two young managers having tough times? I would love to have Man United's tough time right now, third in the table or fourth in the table, wherever. I know they're eighth, aren't they? But they're only 2 points off third or something like that. If that's a tough time, then I'll take that right now. Yeah, having a good time in the Champions League, just dropped into the Europa League on the last day. You know, I would take Champions League football all day right now. I think Solskjaer gets a real bad hand from the press, from the media, from fans. I don't think he's doing a bad job. He just needs to stick to a side. Arsenal just don't...
We've got nothing
every time. Me and my missus, like, we sit down, like, we bath the kids. We sit down. We're ready to watch the Arsenal every week, every Sunday at 7:15 because that's what time freaking kick off at the moment, which does my head in. We sit down, sort everything out. It's like, oh, okay, team sheets are out, and we're going from like, oh, I don't know what shape we're going to be playing there when you're looking through, because then you see four defensive players, but then you'll see Saka as well. And so, hold on a minute, are you going to be playing Saka wide left, or are you going to be playing him in the middle? You're going to be playing him as a wing back. Don't know what decision you want to make today. And then you see number 12, Willian, and it's like, well, fuck's sake, what's the point of this? What is the point of this? That's what I see. Too much player power, says Jamie Shawn.
Facts.
Yeah,
facts.
That's been something that's been going on for a while. I mean, like, when you do look at United and you look at the Pogba situation, it's look at Barca and Messi. Look at all the drama that was happening at the beginning of the season with Messi. Oh, is he staying? Is he going? Rah rah rah. You don't know, but and Arsenal should be getting players between 20 and 25. I'll tell you what, right? There's Torreira, right? I love Torreira, and I think he is a quality centre midfielder. And it's not working for him at Atletico. So
he's not. They're cancelling their loan. His loan deal.
They're cancelling the loan deal, and he might be going to Torino or Fiorentina on a permanent deal. I don't want to see that. I want to see Thomas Partey and Torreira in the middle of the park with the creative midfielder in front.
See, I think for me, the best midfield pairing for Arsenal would be Thomas Partey and Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I think them two in the middle of midfield would be a lot better than anything that we can do right now, because that's pace, that's power, that's stamina, and it's more importantly energy. That's the thing that misses. We need the reason why
we haven't got an engine room, have we?
Yeah, the reason why we need to stop giving these old players all these jobs is because they've not got the energy, they've not got the athleticism anymore. We're an old team, aren't we? You look at it on Willian, Aubameyang, Lacazette. All of them are 29 plus, aren't they? Right? Lacazette has never been athletically gifted. Right?
No.
He's certainly not the same athletic player that he was when he first signed for Arsenal. He's declined, hasn't he, since he's been to the Premier League, since he's been playing for us.
That's the thing, yeah, but that's the thing. They come to Arsenal where they decline. So what's going on at the club?
Because we're signing them too late in their careers. That's the problem. We need to do what Liverpool did. We need to sign the best players from teams below us that are going to want to make the step up when they're younger. So players like the ones that we've been linked with, Hossam Aouar, that would be a great signing. That Szoboszlai, again, players like that. The best players from teams below us in the totem pole, because they're going to want to make the step up. They're going to want to prove that they're hungry to play for a club like Arsenal, and then you'll stop having these issues. But unfortunately, right now, we can't do that because you're not in the transfer window, but you've got to get rid of these old players first before that can happen.
Well, I think that's what the problem was with the Thomas Partey deal. They were trying to do too many movements and things like that in order to try and make the deal work. I have to agree with this one. There's two comments that you made, Leon. One I wholeheartedly agree with, and the other one I disagree with. This one, though, I am in massive agreement. Özil's world class with bang average players around him. I'm not being funny. When he was at Real Madrid, look at the pace that he had around him. When he plays for the German national side, look at the quality of player that he had around him. And it comes to Arsenal, and I'm gonna cuss him out, but this is like double edged actually. But like when you come to Arsenal, you got someone like Theo Walcott. But the thing is, between Walcott and Özil, they averaged a goal and assist every 60 minutes between those two. Which is mad.
Yeah, Walcott. I think we sold him at the right time.
No, I agree. I agree with that as well. But I'm just saying, like, how well he did when he had pace around him.
Yeah.
And that is just that level of talent that he needed. Maitland-Niles, poor touch play in the middle of the park in big games. Well, it's all right. Well, I'll tell you what, I disagree with that.
I remember him having a game at Old Trafford where he dominated the midfield at Old Trafford, one of Wenger's last games. I think you remember. I'm sure you remember that game, Gav.
Which one? Sorry.
One of Wenger's last game at Old Trafford, Arsenal versus Man United. He played Maitland-Niles in the middle of the midfield. I'm sure he was man of match for Arsenal that day. So. Again, I don't think he's ever been given the chance to play there, has he? We've always seen him play out wide as a fullback or a wing back. He's only played recently in middle midfield in the Europa League. I just want to see him given a chance.
Go on.
No, sorry, mate. Go on.
The Maitland-Niles situation is going to be another Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain being played out wide constantly and said, you know what, I've had enough of this. I'm on my bike. See you later. Even though Oxlade-Chamberlain he's done well. Don't get me wrong with Liverpool.
Every game Ox has played in, he's done well. It's just he hasn't got any knees.
Yeah, exactly. So this is my point. It's going to get to the point to Maitland-Niles where he's going to say, I want to go. And I'll be like, mate, do you know what? I can't even blame you because you have not been given the opportunity to express what you can do.
Which is why I'm a little concerned about Saka. Not because I don't think he's good enough. I just think it's kind of like that situation and the similar situation Phil Jones had at Manchester United when he first signed. Alex Ferguson, if you remember, he said he's a centre midfielder, he can play centre back, he can possibly even play at full back. You need to nail down a position and then stick at it and and hone your craft at that one position. With Saka, he's played left wing back, he's played left wing, he's played right wing,
left back, he's played centre mid.
He's played centre mid, he's played attacking midfield. I'm just concerned that we need to find out an actual role for him and let him play at that position and let him learn, because if he's learning too many different positions, it's just going to confuse him. It's just going to not be able to hone his skills properly. And I think we can all agree he's not quite been at it this year, has he? He's kind of dropped off a little bit from last year as well. So I think that's affected him more than anything.
I feel he's been used and abused to the point where he's not at a rest. There's too much pressure on him.
Yeah,
at such a young age. And now, as an Arsenal fan, and you look at Saka and you go, create something for us because we know you can do it, but we should not be looking at an 18, 19
You can't be resting. You can't be resting your hopes on that, and that's what I tell you what. That's exactly what's happening at Dortmund at the moment, because Dortmund look absolutely lost that they haven't got Haaland. You're relying on well, he was 19 at the time. He's 20 now, but you're relying on a 20-year-old. You're Borussia Dortmund, giant club in Europe, and you're relying all your hopes on a 20-year-old to try and change your way of thinking and way of going forwards. It's not good enough. Going back to Alex's point about signing players that are from a lower echelon to Arsenal. I love Emi Buendia. I know you don't like him that much. I think he's,
put it this way,
bang on the money.
He would be a major upgrade and improvement on what we have right now.
But that's bad. That's bad to say that, isn't it? He's a championship player. He's a championship player, and he is an improvement on what has happened at the Arsenal. Lamptey from Brighton.
Yeah. If we're talking about players we're looking at, you've got to look at players like, I think, Lewis Dunk. If we're looking at centre halves, he would definitely be an improvement on what we've got.
So basically, we need to go and just raid Brighton. Go get Solly March while we're at it. I like Solly. I love Solly March.
Yves Bissouma as well.
We need someone who's going to miss every 1 in 5 games, don't we?
Have you seen from Rangers, their right back? I think his name's James.
Tavernier.
17 goals this season. Quality.
Yeah,
we're talking other strikers. Gav, you might like this one. We're never going to sign him, but Ivan Toney, big, physical, athletic. He's tearing it up in the Championship, isn't he? He's doing what Ollie wants.
I know Ivan personally. I'll have a word with his dad. I'll have a word with his dad next time in Kingsley.
That's the type of player that we need to be signing, though. He's going to be. He'd be. I mean,
it's with Arsenal fans say too old to win anything 30 years ago, but he can't win anything. He can't win anything with kids. Is Arsenal struggling to find balance and intra-team respect? Yes, they are. That's the issue. There's no respect at Arsenal at the moment. I think teams now. No team fears Arsenal. No team fears Arsenal.
No
Even Dundalk last week thought, do you know what? Fancy this. And they still scored 2 goals. No team in the world fears Arsenal right now. And what that's where we're at the moment.
We have got no player that even me personally would come up against and be up bloody, I've got to stay away from him on the pitch, or he's going to tear my head off if I do anything to him. We've got not one player that will do that.
The thing is, I think we have got the players. It's a style of play, because we're just, every time we get the ball, we're passing it sideways and backwards. Do you know what? I watched this thing. I saw it going around on Twitter, right? And it's the Arsenal's kickoff from every game that when we've kicked off the game or kicked off the second half. One's passed straight back to a centre half and a big long diag, which normally gets flicked off and goes somewhere else.
That's not just for Arsenal. Every team does that.
And every other team is pretty much able to win the second ball, win the first ball, win the second ball. Arsenal don't.
There's a reason why they do that, though. It's just to clear their line so you don't concede early.
Why clear your line? Why are you clearing your line?
Not confident.
You're not inviting pressure onto yourself. That's why.
But you tell me why, like, we give Giroud to Chelsea, and all of a sudden, all we want to do is play long balls and cross it in. That's all we want to do. Pass out the back, play a pinger, play it to Tierney. Tierney whips it. I love Tierney. I'm not saying nothing against Tierney.
Oh, I love
Tierney. Him. Cracking player. But these crosses, they're superb, and we've got no one in there to go bosh. It's ridiculous.
I saw a stat. It was in the first half of the
captain.
Feature Arsenal captain.
He needs to be made captain now, but he should be made captain once Aubameyang's gone because he's got captain material all over him.
He'll probably be gone by then as well. He probably will. Do you know what I mean? And like, I don't know. We'll have to. I don't know. Get. Ben Chilwell's still quite young. We'll get Marcus Alonso in 2 years' time. That's what will happen. Arsenal are shambles, man. Honestly, do you know what? I don't even take banter off people anymore. I just agree with them. People come out to me and like, oh, fucking hell, Arsenal shit, and I'm like, yes. I don't. True. I look forward to Sundays because as soon as Arsenal are finished, I can actually watch my boys, the Kansas City Chiefs, do a bit of a job. That's where I get my joy now on a Sunday because I'm not getting it anywhere else. But we've got a big game this week. We've got two big games. We've got Southampton at home. We're at home and we are 6-5 to win the game. Southampton are 9-4. When has that happened?
Well, yeah, there you go. That's the point. The whole point of it.
And then we've got Everton away at the weekend.
Oh God! And then what's it, Man City in the cup after that, and Chelsea Boxing Day.
And then brilliant. Chelsea Boxing Day.
Absolutely brilliant.
Do you know what? Chin him off now. Like Steve Round. What is Steve Round doing there as a coach? Chin him off now. I've got to cut the pals. I've got coaching badges. They could go sit on the. They could go sit on the bench, and then I can do it from a Phil Brown point of view and Sam Allardyce point of view. Just sit in the stands and be like, right, do this, do that. Because I ain't got my badge, I'm not allowed to sit on the bench, am I? So. Do that and then have an effect a bit like Duncan Ferguson at Everton last season, and then wait for someone to come along. Benfica will be a tough game. I think it's the hardest tie that we could have got out of that Europa League draw for the seeded teams. Being a seeded team and having that around really is. And Leon's also saying about playing Saka as a number 10 maybe.
No, I think he's left wing. He's a left winger. He's got to stay.
I agree with that. I agree.
I don't know what's going to happen with the Arsenal. No team's too big to go down, but we won't be going down this season. But honestly, if Arteta is still in charge on New Year's Day, I am very, very concerned. Very concerned. We're only 25-1 to go down. Put your tenors on.
Boys, on that note, I'm going to have to have you and leave you, honestly. That's just put me in the ground, that comment.
That's fine. We're all going to shoot anyway. So we've got a Bundesliga show in. If you're watching this live, we've got the Bundesliga show at 8:30. If you're not watching it live, you'll be able to go back and have a listen to that on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. At Top Football is the search for it. And you can subscribe to subscribe, like, follow, and share all our main social media links: Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, at Two at Top Football. And did you know if you put Two at Top into Google, our name comes up first? Oh, well, now you do. But Alex, thank you very much for joining us, as well as George. And George will be in touch because we're Arsenal fans. We need to die together. I think that's I think that's the way. Just before you go, Mark Peacock, who's an Arsenal fan, and Ketia, Martinelli, Balogun, Saka, Saliba, Nelson, Willock, Smith Rowe, to name a few. The future's bright. Just need the right experienced players to play with him. I can't really disagree with that comment. And on that note, thank you everyone for contributing and watching. And stay tuned to the Bundesliga show at 8:30. Thank you everybody, and goodbye.